Okay, my next item is item 6D, swimming pool ballot measure. The Swimming Pool Task Force has recommended placing before the voters of Mission a ballot question for a 1/4 cent sales tax to fund the construction of a new municipal outdoor pool. This recommendation...
Second. All right, is there discussion on this item? Mr. Quinn?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, this, the way it's proposed, it says that it's for the operating and maintenance costs as well as construction of the pool and the equipment. But that 1/4 cent sales tax for 10 years actually would just barely pay for the construction of the pool. It wouldn't generate any operating or maintenance costs at all, and is really insufficient to do what they're wanting to do with this. So I would urge the other council members not to vote for this the way it's written.
All right.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Cowdery?
I just have some concerns. The pool people were awesome, and they were really concerned about our economy and trying to find a moderate solution. I just have an issue with, we haven't even done a 2013 budget yet, and we don't know how many bonds, we don't know the financial state. I'm just thinking new versus repair, and I asked some questions that were not answered yet, that probably won't be in until next week, on what are our options, why new now if we haven't even done a 2013 budget is what I was wondering. Some people came here tonight thinking that if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have a pool. So I don't know where they got that information, but I just want to know everybody would love a new pool. It's just new and bonds, taking on more bonds when we haven't done a 2013 budget versus fixing what we have and seeing the financial state of our city.
I also want to go on the record that I would love a pool. I personally don't use the pool, but I would love everybody to have a pool and that amenity. My concern is we have a lot of issues in our city. We have stormwater issues, we have street issues, we have the transportation utility fee. Who knows what's going to happen with that in the state of the financial situation there. And also, I think we were just given a 3/8 cent sales tax via email this week, and I would like to recommend that we take it back to committee and we discuss and fully vet a 1/4 cent versus a 3/8 cent and what that means to our city from a financial, debt accumulation.
I just want to say I appreciate the comments that we've received over the last 3 weeks. I've gotten numerous emails and have responded to each one I've gotten. In the venue of an economic crisis and economic considerations, I've had a lot of people tell me they're not able to go on a luxurious vacation this year, but they do walk and bicycle to our swimming pool. I don't think it's almost obtuse to me of a governing body to not let the general population vote on this. I will be moving toward putting this on the ballot in November, and I hope we get approval. Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, as it relates to, I'm going to make one comment, and then I'm going to make a motion. My first comment is this, is that we talk a lot about debt in this city, and we have made a lot of investments into our infrastructure in this city. And the thing that is important to understand, every time we have issued any debt in this city to make an investment in our community, we have had a revenue stream tied to it. This is not structural debt like what you deal with at the federal government, where there is a bill to pay and there is no money to pay it. In this city, there's a reason why our bond rating continues to get affirmed and it continues to get improved, because we are making the necessary investments, not for 90 days from now or a year from now, but 10 years from now. I think one of the most insightful things that have been said around this table in a long time is Councilman Quinn saying, why would you just pass a 1/4 cent sales tax just to build it? We've got to not only build it, but we've got to maintain it. And in that spirit, Councilwoman Gibbs, I would like to request that we amend your motion from a 1/4 cent sales tax to a 3/8 cent sales tax and put that before the voters for their consideration.
I notice we have a number of people in our audience, and does anyone in the public want to address council on this issue?
Jim Sloss, I'm with Sign Pro, 6180 Barclay in beautiful Mission, and I just want to say thank you.
a resident of Roland Park, but I've lived in this area for nearly 25 years. I do most of my shopping in Mission, and I 100% support a sales tax increase as a person from out of the city who wants to see this pool continue and for Mission to continue to thrive.
Thank you. I'm Julie Perry. I'm a registered nurse. I live at 6044 Reeds Roads. And as many of you know by now, I'm obviously not an expert on what's going on with the pool.
Is that greater than 50% of the sales tax revenues come from residents outside of the city of Mission?
In our usual annual budget process. But from my opinion, based on what has transpired this year compared to last year's, we're woefully behind on that. And I don't have the information related to the budget process that I would want to see to be able to make a decision on something like this. We are in the state of a very difficult economy that I hope goes away sooner rather than later, but I don't know the answer to that. And I do not think it is prudent to move forward on the pool at this time. Again, how important Parks and Recreation amenities are to the quality of life in the city of Mission. I want to protect those. I do not believe the motions on the table tonight are going to provide us that protection.
Mr. Scanlon, but it was my understanding in our budget process over the last few years, we have been building towards our reserves. We have been working on our maintenance plans.
As it relates to reserves, the reserves that were established by the consultant in 1998, as it was presented to the council then, and I don't know that any of you were here, was that 2% of the value of the community center needed to be set aside each year. We have never done that as it relates to setting aside a reserve for the community center. I think the 3/8 in terms of the overall Parks and Recreation, if you're trying to look at something that was fiscally responsible for the long term, it probably matches up the best.
All right. Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Cowdery.
We didn't talk about how fiscally it would work out with the community center and the new pool and the 3/8 of an inch. We never got any numbers on that.
It's
really,
3/8 of a cent.
3/8 of a cent, yeah. So it's hard to vote on something that you really don't know how, that it's been studied so that you know that it's going to financially and feasibility-wise.
And let's say 15 or 20 years, there's another governing body here, and there's a question as relates to the issuance of debt. You might not want to issue debt, but in 15 or 20 years, if this 3/8 cents were available, that body wouldn't have the opportunity to make that decision because that would have already been made 15 years back. So I wrote it as broad as it could be, trying to contemplate what are all the options that a future city council would want to be able to use the money for, but kept it within Parks and Recreation.
So I believe that the Finance and Administration Committee, when this comes to, if it passes, we will decide how much will be spent on the pool, how much will be set aside for ongoing maintenance and operating costs for the pool and Parks and Rec. So that's where that clarity will come from, correct?
That would be true. Thank you. All right, is there any other discussion? Oh, yes, ma'am.
I just have one question. I need to say my address again.
Just give us your name.
Alyssa Ruffin. I know that it was stated a couple times this evening that the pool is not in jeopardy, and I just wanted to clarify my reason for thinking that it is because I've attended several of these meetings throughout the course of the last year, and just 2 weeks ago it was considered to just shut down the pool and wait several years and hope that the economy turns over. And it was my understanding that if something is not in place by January 1st of 2013, that the pool is not able to reopen next summer. Is that correct? Or am I misinformed?
That is not correct.
Okay.
Our concern is it's been Band-Aid. It's a 56-year-old asset that had a 40-year life. And there are certain things on it that are very near catastrophic failure. And if those things fail, then that is a risk.
Okay, so there is the potential for it to open, even if nothing is decided in the near future? Because that's why I feel there's kind of an urgency to move forward with something, because this has been considered since 2008, right, to do something? I mean, it's well overdue.
The first thing council needs to vote on is amending the amendment to include a 10-year sunset. Is to include a 10-year sunset. All right, does everybody understand? So if you vote yes, then you would put a 10-year sunset on the next amendment that we're going to vote on, which is Mr. Shepherd's amendment. Okay, all right.
You want a motion?
No, you already gave me a motion, and it's been seconded. So we're going to vote on the putting a 10-year sunset. Hit it.
Andre?
No.
Cowdery?
Aye.
Gibbs?
No.
Kring?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Quinn?
No.
Shepherd?
Nay.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
4-4. No.
Let's see. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I vote to put the 10-year sunset. Okay. All right. Now, the next amendment is to amend it to 3/8 from the quarter. So if you vote yes, it will be a 10-year limit, and it will be for 3/8 cents. Okay. All right.
She's confused. Hold on.
Who's confused? Okay, so the 10 years passed. Okay, so now we're voting, now you're going to vote on Mr. Shepherd's amendment to amend Susie's motion, well, he read it, to be the 3/8.
But didn't that last one just take care of that?
No, you
just
only
voted the
voted
sunset.
to make
Okay,
it be
all right.
10 years.
Got it. Move forward.
Right, so Dave does the use and the 3/4 cent.
Perfect.
I mean, 3/8 cent, I'm sorry.
Debbie's limits it to 10.
There you go.
You were term,
Right.
I was use, and amount.
Okay, right.
There we
There you
go.
go. Your use and amount. So 3/8 cent.
I'm the original.
And the use, yeah, you're the original. Okay, all right, so we're not voting on the underlying one. We're just voting to amend Susie's underlying motion. We will still have one more vote after this. Okay. Okay?
A yes is the 3/8.
A yes means we're going to vote on you're going to vote on the 3/8. It's not yet. This is just to make the underlying
Yes is
motion
the
3/8.
3/8.
Okay.
No.
And the
for
use.
quarter.
No.
Well, if you
it's not
vote, we still have
3/8.
one more vote after this. What you're voting is to amend it on the, okay, all right.
But if you vote no,
Okay,
you're
go.
obviously voting for a quarter.
Okay, Andre?
Nay.
Cowdery?
Nay.
Gibbs?
Aye.
Kring?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
All right. So now what we have before council is,
Just put it to the people.
the motion, right, to put it to the people.
It has a certain connotation.
In one way, shape, or form. That's right.
Okay, so this will be to, this next amendment is to put it to the residents to have 3/4 or 3/8 cents for the uses defined by Mr. Shepherd for a period of 10 years. Okay? Because we voted to amend Susie's motion.
Okay.
Right?
3/8 of a cent for a
3/8 of a
sunset of
cent
10 years.
For the sunset of 10 years.
So if you're
For
voting
the broader
yes-
use that Mr. Shepherd described. Okay. Okay. Are we all ready?
Sure.
Okay, go.
Andre?
Nay.
Cowdery?
Nay.
Gibbs?
Aye.
Kring?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Motion carries. Okay. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.
Okay. All right. Well, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
We're gonna